Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Board YouTube channel for your Monday morning pick and roll for November 4th. We're here presented by FanDuel, and my goodness, we have a monster slate of NBA games to go through on the show today. It's going to be action-packed. There's going to be plenty of analysis, and hopefully some very nice free picks to share on the show today. So get us started by smashing that like button if you're hyped for the week and hyped for the day. And also, if you're new to the channel, we're live here every weekday morning, Monday through Friday on the Board YouTube channel for this show, Pick and Roll. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel. And hopefully, if you're subscribed to the channel, we can have more days like the previous day that we had on the show. Friday was an excellent day. 3 bets, 3 wins, a first sweep of the season. We even got a nice little hook win to get ourselves started on or get ourselves back in the win column over there on Karl Anthony Towns. We took the 20.5. We preach line shopping. This is why you got to do it. Ended with 21 points. We also had the Kings SGP, which won, and the Rudy Gobert over 20.5 points and rebounds, which crushed Pips. We don't need to dwell too much on the games from Friday, but first sweep of the season. Any comment from you?
Yeah, not nice to pick up one hook win, but one most interesting way was like 30 seconds into the second half, and he went scoreless for the rest
it was
of
a
the
blowout.
game.
Yeah.
Blowout. So nice bounce back. We had some close ones that didn't turn our way. And finally get some. So hopefully a new trend.
Yeah,
To start this week.
it was definitely deserved a good day. We've been getting good lines from your picks all season. Stuff hasn't come off, but definitely great to finish the week with the sweep. Hopefully we have some more winners going on today and the rest of this week. But before we go any further, a quick word from the presenting sponsor on the channel, the FanDuel Sportsbook, because the offer is still here. The fantastic offer for the NBA season with the league fully in action here. Head over to FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, where they're going to help you catch all the action this season. They're giving everyone 3 months of NBA League Pass. All you have to do to catch every tip-off and buzzer beater is place any $5 bet on the NBA. And from the show, there's going to be so many free picks going on throughout the season. If you want to watch that action live, if you want to sweat these plays out live, why not do it? With such a great offer being provided to you here. And on top of this, for a limited time, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. So next time you have a hunch on anything going on around the NBA, or if you're going to be tailing some of the picks that are on this show, you can bet it on FanDuel and watch your picks come to life live with League Pass. So visit FanDuel.com/board to get 3 months of NBA League Pass, courtesy of FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NBA and the official sportsbook partner right here on the board. But you must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in DC. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bet, which expires 7 days after receipt. After a 3-month free trial, the full price of League Pass will be automatically charged monthly. Cancel anytime. No refunds. Terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Limit 1 pass per customer. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelpline.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. Now, let's get in on the action for today. Let's not waste any time here. There's plenty of games to get through. Not going to be as thorough with each game. You're going to have to forgive us. There are 15 games to go through today, but we'll go through the 15 games. And as normal, at the end of the show, we'll be going to the Q&A portion of the stream where we answer your questions, react to your bets. So make sure you send them into the chat. I've already seen a couple come in. I'm going to queue them up for later, so have no fear. We will see them. But let's get started with the first game just up on the board here by chance. 7:10 p.m. Eastern time. The night gets started with the Milwaukee Bucks and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Wow. Milwaukee have looked really bad this season, and the spread reflects that. +7 against the Cavaliers, who are 7-0. Now, imagine this spread like a couple weeks ago. I think a lot of people thought the Bucks were going to be very good. People thought the Cavs would be good as well, but the Cavaliers are -7 tonight. This is outrageous how far the Bucks have fallen to start the season, Pips.
Yeah, but we last game they played 2 days ago, and Cleveland Cavaliers were on second night of back-to-back, and they won. And it was not like a great game from anyone on the Cavs team. Probably Sam Merrill had a great game, but we saw an insane game from Giannis and Lillard. They made every shot, and they still lost. Prince was like I think 4 or 5 and threes. Like they got their best players to make shots. They got supporting cast to put some numbers. Uh, Milan didn't play much special, and they still won on second night of back-to-back. So I completely understand this why.
And you told me before the show, I think you're interested in this one from a betting perspective. Is that correct?
Yeah, we'll cook something for this one.
Let's cook.
Yeah, let's look at the big edge. Like, yeah, I don't know if you saw, but Giannis is questionable for this game, so probably in the line in the spread probably should be like 5.5 or 5.
He's been
So
questionable like a lot of games, but
yeah,
still playing.
so let's do some single parlays. I'll probably first add the. I mean, I can probably do it as well. Uh, if you want to do it, it's okay. Like, we can do 25 for Mitchell.
Okay, 25 plus for Donovan Mitchell. Get it started.
Let's do Garland 6+ assists.
Okay, and over 2 assists. Darius Garland
Mitchell
6+.
Mitchell under 5.5 assists.
Okay.
And the last part is Donovan Mitchell 2+ threes. He's not scoring 25 without 2 threes. Yeah, especially against drop coverage. That's just
Just give us a little bit of
two
extra on the
plus,
SGP.
2+.
My bad.
Yeah. Won't change much, but I don't see it happening for him. So yeah, we will start with big single parlay built on the place, on the spot. The always thing about the Bucks, great pull-up shooters. Mitchell is one of the best. Over against the drop coverage, Gary Trent Jr. can do much. Last night on second night of back-to-back, last game, second night of back-to-back, Mitchell scored 30, made 4 threes. Garland had 10 assists on like 17, 18 potential assists. He was driving inside, kicking out on their collapses. And Mitchell didn't have like ended up with 4 assists, but he didn't do much. He didn't do his creation this season is much lower. I think his passing and potential assists like down like 30 to 40% since the last season. They're trying to put him off the ball to attack the gaps to score when he gets the to attack off the ball. So Garland, heavy playmaking and not so much for Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell, main leading scorer here. So this all together makes real sense against the Bucks defense.
All right, there's the first play to get us started here. I feel like you talked about Giannis being questionable. I feel like if your team is 1-5 and you should be, in theory, a contender, if you're kind of healthy, you're going to be playing because they really need to start pulling some wins together. So there's your first bet. Once again, Donovan Mitchell, 25+ points, under 5.5 assists, 2+ made threes, and Darius Garland, 6+ assists for the 4-leg SGP on FanDuel, plus 309. And always check if there's some boost tokens available to yourself as well to just pump those numbers up a little bit more on the SGP, get greater value for the pick. Let's keep moving here because 14 more games to go. Second game on the slate, Golden State Warriors, Washington Wizards. Spread here is at 10. A lot of big spreads early on in the season with how poor the Eastern Conference is. Though the Wizards, 2-3 to start the season. Golden State looking great. They have a 5-1 record. Any thoughts for this game?
Should be a blowout. My first bet of the day was Jordan Poole under 23.5. It's down to 21.5 now. So I'm not taking it. The volume is gone. But the interesting part about Golden State Warriors this season is that they are the best transition defense. They are the best above the break 3 defense. And they are second best or third best pick and roll ball handler defense. So they are really playing hard on the perimeter down there. Like Jalen Green and Fred VanVleet shot combined like 3 out of 25. 3 out of 20 like terrible game from both.
Yeah.
The guy, the pressure was insane, and they are doing the great job on defensive and the entire season. So Golden State is winning games with defense mostly this season, which is good way to set because Steph Curry is coming back and this team looks good, but better than expected. They are deep with role players, so yeah, not much to
Yeah.
say about that game.
Yeah, the Warriors looking good. It's kind of tough to really get much on a game where it was a blowout opportunity. Usually, like I said, it's kind of later on in the season where we see the games like this. But with the Eastern Conference the way it stands, we're seeing a lot of these big spreads. And another like decently sizable one here. The next one will be a big one, but we're moving next to the Lakers and Pistons. 7.5 spread in favor of the Lakers. They had a hot start to the season, now sitting at 4-2. The Pistons 2-5 on the year. How do you feel about this spread with the Pistons at home?
I think it's maybe a bit too much, but with Pistons, you never know what you're gonna get. Still, not a very serious team. Some nights they play great, then they get blown out by 30 in first quarter against the Knicks. So yeah, I don't know what to expect from the Pistons. Still like very young team, not consistent, so we don't know. But I do want to bet my favorite guy on that team. His line on FanDuel moved, but it's widely available at 16 and a half. So my bet for this is Jaden Ivey over 16 and a half. I think it's widely available. I think the FanDuel is actually only book that have 17 and a half. It
They're
moved like
sharp.
yeah, it moved like 15 minutes ago when I was doing my research for the show. So preparing stuff. So we'll bet Jaden Ivey. I think there are a couple of books, major books with
Yeah.
minus 120,
Yeah.
and I will play it at minus 125 as well. So
Okay.
minus, minus 125, but minus 20. But there are minus 20 there, so shop around.
Yeah, you
Uh,
can get this in two spots have it at minus 120. There's plenty of spots to have it 125, so there shouldn't be much difficulty in having access to
you can
this one.
put my prop madness on the screen, so I can just like Jay and Ivy. If you exclude the game against the Knicks where he had foul trouble and played only 19 minutes due to blowout, this is how it looks. Over in 5 out of the 6 games, averaged 20 points a game. The only time he didn't cover was a game against the Nets. He shot 4 from 15. So yeah, that he should score 20 plus in that game as well. Some interesting overs against Cleveland Cavaliers, 22, 26 against the Boston, 18 against the Miami Heat, 23 against the 76ers. So they played mostly good defensive teams, and he's putting 20 points average. Now he gets like prime time matchup. Like this is one of the best matchups in the league, and here's why. Most points from Ivy comes from the transition. Lakers allow second most transition points. He also scores a lot of points as a pick and roll ball handler. The Lakers bottom of the league in that as well. Almost 50% of his points in the restricted area. And when we look at the Lakers, they allow fifth most in the restricted area. So overall, we have a high-paced game, and Lakers are fourth worst defense in the league. Somehow, after an impressive start, they got down to really poor defensive stats. So this is actually a great matchup for Jaden Ivey. Any defense they have on perimeter will go to the Kate Cunningham. So Jaden Ivey is in a smash spot here.
So there we have it. That is the second official pick of the day. Jaden Ivey over 16.5 points, minus 120, available in 2 spots. I just verified. Also, there's other spots that should have it at minus 125. So feel free to line shop and find the best available price in your region. Next up on the slate, another big spread here. Another rematch already early on in the season, but the 6-1 Boston Celtics taking on the Atlanta Hawks. Sorry, I thought these teams had played each other. They haven't played each other yet this season, but the spread here is at 10 for this game. The Celtics, every time they're in action, it's a big spread, and today is no different. Over-under is at 234. Pips, what do the Hawks need to bring in this one here? You're in tune with this team.
Yeah, I mean, the Congo being back helps this team and also Dyson Daniels. So we'll have that Dyson against Tatum, which is really helpful. He can do Tatum can't score like easily in isolation against Dyson Daniels, so that can help the Hawks to stay in the game. Also, they are away and they are missing Porzingis and Jalen Brown. So I think this spread shouldn't be there. Like the only reason it's there probably because Hawks are on the second night of back to back. That's huge for a team that I don't have enough their team, like their roster, like they're missing so many players. Hunter is out, Bogdanovic is out. Like they are like second and third best offensive players on the team, probably third and fourth, I would say. So when you have Roddy and Garrison Matthews playing huge minutes, it's always a concern. But I think they can stand it again. I think Trey Young should be like the best offensive player on the floor, and that should give them like some edge here. He can create stuff, but second night of back to back is always tough spot. So
Yeah,
I
for
won't have any bets. It's difficult for this.
yeah, BRB brings up it's a team with not a lot of depth on the second night of back to back. And it's the Boston Celtics, always difficult over there. So we'll see what goes down in that matchup. Moving on to the next one, Memphis -5 on the road at the Brooklyn Nets, over under of 225. Memphis have been pretty ravaged by injuries to start the season. The Nets have been probably a little bit better than anticipated with a 3-4 start to the season. Their over under for wins on the season as a whole was less than 20. I think it may have closed 18.5, but I think it closed less than 20. The Grizzlies 4-3 to start the season. How do you see this matchup going down?
Yeah, this should be probably an easy win for the Memphis. I think they are undervalued. Uh, I probably someone saw that I shared their bet. I think I sent it to you as well privately against the 76ers that spread they were underdogs. That made 0 sense. They blown them out. And
Yep.
that's happening like over and over again. This Memphis team is great. Like I mean they're missing Smart and Bain, but guys like I don't know, like Jalen Wells looks great, rookie, but Santi Aldama, Jake LaRavia, Scottie Pippen, like Brandon Clark, they have like the NBA players on the roster and they are hustling and yeah, they should win this. And Nets, I think they are on second night of back to back as well. They played the Pistons last night. Yeah,
Yep, they
so
did.
yeah, their second night of back to back against the Grizzlies, who will run the shit out of them. The pace will be insane. So yeah, I think this should be like an a win for the. Let me just take a look at something at to play something in this one. I think we can probably get a play on Memphis here. Yeah, I think I'll bet the Memphis in this one, combined with Ja Morant 8+ assists. This will be the play in this one.
So we're going money line here with John Morant assists.
Yeah,
All right, so Memphis on the money line mixed with John Morant over just a 5.5 assist line.
yeah. Let's look at that how that works together.
So
Yeah.
we're at plus 138 for that.
Oh, no rebounds, like assists for Ja Morant.
Oh, I clicked the wrong one. My bad.
Yeah,
Five and a half
let's
did
do
seem kind of low to me, but
alternative line for
going
assist.
through.
Let's do
Yeah.
8
All right.
plus for Ja
All
Morant.
right. 8+ assists for John Morant. And we have it. All right. That makes more sense. -108 for the Memphis Grizzlies
Yeah.
money line. John Morant, 8+ assists. Sorry, Monday morning here. But there is the third official bet for today. Yeah, talk to us about John Morant assists and why you favor that as
Yeah.
the combination.
Yeah, I have opened it on the screen for the Props Madness because like this is him with 25+ minutes this season. Like 10, 10, 11, 14, 12. Last game against the 76ers, 18 potential assists. Against the Bucks, 25 potential assists. Those are the two games without Bain and Smart. So yeah, he's just crushing this number. And even against the top defense of Orlando Magic, he still got 10, and they lost to the Nets last time, but he still ended up with 11 assists in that game. So I just think this is a great spot against the Nets who are on back to back. I'm huge on back to backs against short-handed teams, And this team of Memphis is like short-handed. Like they don't have many guys that can score point. That's Cam Thomas, Dennis Schroeder, Cameron Johnson, and that's about it. So yeah, I think this should be a good spot.
With this one, completely understand this one. Um, seemed to, I mean, the Nets have been extra impressive this season, more so than we would have thought. But with the way Memphis has been playing, completely makes sense.
We've been watching press conferences of Fernandez, and he looks like a real sharp guy. I'll say, like, I'm impressed how he approaches the game. So
I love Jordy Fernandez. It makes me sick
yeah,
that he was available when the Raptors had their head coach search and didn't choose
yeah.
him.
He was
Also,
like,
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, he's huge into data, and like he's a real modern coach. He goes to the press conference, he pulls the paper of box scores and just talks like, oh, this game we took 20 mid-range shots but only 33s. That's not going to work. We won't do that like anymore this season. And like great stuff. Like looks at everything. Like so, yeah, that's the approach I like from the coaches. So but yeah, I think on second night of back-to-back against Memphis Force is really rough for them.
Also sickening is now that he's the Nets head coach, he's no longer Team Canada's head coach, and he was fantastic for them.
Yeah,
He's so good at adjusting to find the right combination of players, the right schemes on the fly in games to get the best success. So absolutely, the Nets have a good one over there. Next up, Sacramento -1 against the Miami Heat in Miami. Market seems to have come down a little bit on Miami in the early stages of the season. Market seems to have come up on the Sacramento Kings. All this is a little bit strange with the Heat at 3-2, the Kings at 3-3, but the Kings have looked pretty good this season. I know you were low on them to start the year, but they have looked pretty good. Well, other than the Raptors loss on in the previous game. But
I
yeah,
I don't know if they look pretty good. I mean, they won against terrible teams and they lost against good teams. So I did like they lost to Wolves, they lost to the Lakers. Then they win against Portland and against Utah Jazz without Markkanen and Clarkson, and then they won barely close game against the Hawks playing non-NBA players, and they lost to the Raptors. So like if I'm going to rate this, I will rate it as a D start to a season. Like 3-3 records doesn't speak how poorly they are played. They had four easiest matchups of the in the like four easiest matchups of the season almost like, and that's Portland, Jazz, to Raptors and Hawks without three best players. Like those are the worst teams in the league. They won three, lost one, and they lost to the playoff teams. So I don't know. You watch their defense. This is rough. Like Raptors were scoring at will against them, and Raptors missed two of their best players. I don't know. Like tell you, I'm not. I'm still staying with my stay that I'm low on the Kings. Huerta does bring a lot for them, but he's
he did
again
miss the Raptors game,
questionable.
to be fair.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So he is very important player for them because he's better on deep. Like he's not great on defense, but very better than Fox and DeRozan. And shooting wise, they need second great shooter on the floor with Keegan Murray. So huge player for them. When he's healthy and ready, they are decent. When he's not there, I'm really low on them. You watch the last 10 minutes of the. I mean, you watched the entire game, but last 10 minutes of the game was DeMar DeRozan shooting contested mid-range shots entire like.
That's true, and he
And
made a
like
lot of them.
yeah, and like Sabonis wide open on the row, ignored. Fox not touching the ball at all. Monk also watching and looking at like Monk had it going, and Demar completely took the ball away from him and did
Yeah,
some like
and they
terrible
they
stuff.
subbed him out late in the game. He was pissed when he got subbed out too because he was having a fantastic game. I remember in overtime, Pirtle had fouled out. Raptors backup big Jonathan Mobo was on 5 fouls and then also fouled out. They never got the ball to Sabonis in overtime. My big concern was like he's just gonna feast. He had Ochai Agbaji guarding him in the paint. They did not once get Sabonis the ball, and their
I think
offense
they
struggled in the OT.
wanted to get the Sabonis ball, just DeRozan didn't. They played like 20 pick and rolls, and he didn't pass the ball once to Sabonis. He will just get the pick set
Yeah.
and just pull up from midi. That's very like terrible offense, especially
Yeah.
when you have guys like Sabonis, Fox, Monk, and great shooters around. Like, God, why did it?
Yeah. I don't know if it was, Vince Carter. It was Vince Carter jersey retirement night. DeRozan, I don't know if he wanted to show up against the Raptors on Vince Carter night. I don't know if he wanted to show up against Drake, who was in the crowd. He has
Yeah,
beef with Drake, who was
I think
courtside. Personal
he
game
had
for
five
DeRozan, I
field goals.
guess.
He had 4 field goal attempts in the first half, ended up at 27, and a lot of free throws.
Yeah.
When Drake started like the beef, he
Yeah.
started shooting. He stopped passing and kind of ruined the Kings' offense. Like, yeah. So yeah,
Well,
I'm thinking enough on the DeRozan. I hate that guy and never will like him as a player. Off the court, I think he's okay, but I don't like his game. I think it's
so
ruining teams.
so the spread's -1 for the Kings. Do you have an opinion on the spread here? Miami on
I'm not
the
a huge
underdogs
fan
at
of.
home.
I'm not a huge fan of Miami Heat as well. So
Okay.
yeah,
Stay
I
away.
think these both playing teams. So yeah,
All right, so we stay away there. We move to the Jazz and Bulls game. Bulls 7.5 favorites at home. Over under of 228.5. Any take on this game?
I would have bets on this one for sure if it was offered, but we don't have player points up.
Just cluing that in there. All right, quick one. We move on
Yeah,
to the Knicks.
I think they have Lavin and Lamarckanen questionable. I think this is a good spot for both of these players. Kobe White and Lamarckanen should have a great game. So if it opens up later, look into it.
All right. New York on the road at the Rockets. Rockets +2. Over under 217.5. I'll let you have your say on this. You're in the Alperen Şengün jersey today. Is that a sign that there's a bet coming?
Unfortunately not. And the only reason it's not coming is because I don't know what the fuck Udoka is doing. I think this could be a great topic for the show overall because I think entire Twitter is heavily cursing Udoka, and this time for a good reason. I was always like a fan of when like players play like poorly and don't like play with good energy, and then they get benched. And I was supporting that. This season, I hate it. Like Şengün got like against the Golden State Warriors, we were down 35. We came back to the overtime, which is like, insane to even think of
Yep.
it. Think of it. But Şengün played 20 minutes and played decent. Like he was doing well, like 14 points and 10 rebounds in 20 minutes. That's great. And 4 assists, like he did everything right. Like he wasn't a problem on all defense. And Jalen Green and Fred VanVleet, who is the worst player in the league so far this season, hands down. Like Fred
He's
sucks
been
on
really
both
bad.
sides somehow. Yeah, he's been really bad. Like even fuck ups on defense, which is not something you expect from him. But Fred VanVleet got fourth quarter and overtime minutes. Jalen Green got 4 quarter and overtime minutes. Dylan Brooks, 3 worst players out of starting lineup, and they didn't never got back like 0 minutes for Şengün in fourth and the overtime. Like that's terrible, and that's 4th time this season. So yeah, I'm not betting on Şengün because something is going on there. Like if I bet him and he again gets pulled in the fourth, doesn't get minutes, I will be like terrible. So if there is a chance that could happen, there is no bet on Şengün until he
Right.
gets the regular minutes. So yeah, no bet there.
Understood. What
Uh,
about
on the, I will look at some numbers on the game overall. Just going through it right now to check stuff. Yeah, a lot of stuff moved that turn, but we could probably do some big same game parlay for this one.
all right?
Just a second.
No worries. There's been the discourse against Fred VanVleet on Twitter is pretty insane right now. He had 40 minutes in that game against the Golden State Warriors. I think this season he's shooting under 30% from three and under 30% from the field. I'm just going to verify exactly
I
what
think
those
he's shooting
numbers
like
are.
28% for twos, like
Wow. Yeah.
overall. So this
28%
is
on everything. He's just 28 across the board. 20% field goal percentage, 20% three-point percentage, and of course a 28% two-point percentage. Uh, wow. That's not good. 12
yeah,
points per game. Wow. It's early. It's only 6 games, but geez, that is poor.
yeah. That's just I don't know what's happening with him.
And
Like
he's
it's not
averaging
like
38 minutes per game.
yeah, and he played like he's the like go-to guy, still go-to guy for the team, which is quite amazing for a guy that plays
Well,
so
he
poorly.
was good last year. I don't know if Udoka's just trying to
Yeah,
make him shoot out of his slump, but I see what you're saying. You know, in a game where Alperen Şengün is playing well, continues to get benched. I guess it was a scheme thing. There was something they had that was working. They didn't want to put him back in, but then to not deviate away from Van Vliet, who wasn't playing well, that's strange.
yeah. We can build the same game parlay on this.
Let's do
Uh,
it.
let's start with OG Anunoby under 13 and a half,
All right.
and then add Mikal Bridges under 3.5 assists,
Okay.
and just
Bridges
let
three and
me
a
think
half.
of the last leg just a second.
So far, Anunoby under 13.5 points. Bridges under 3.5 assists. 218 so far.
And let's do last leg, Jalen Brunson 25 plus points.
All right. Jalen Brunson, 25 plus points, paired with Bridges under 3.5 assists and OG Anunoby under 13.5 points, brings us to plus 346 on FanDuel. Be good with that?
Yeah.
All right, so there is is this the third official bet? This is the fourth official bet so far on the
Fourth.
show. We're barely halfway through the games. We'll see if we have more, but here is the fourth official pick of the day. You want to walk us through your thought process behind this one?
Yeah, sure. First off, let's start with Anunoby. Like nothing too much to say there. Like just like similar matchup to the game against the Boston Celtics. Rockets are not giving up corner threes and threes overall. It's a switch heavy lineup, and I don't think he can score on Jabari Smith or Tari Eason, like in a single coverage. So that's the most of my reason why I like in a similar matchup against Miami, who actually gives out more shots for Anunoby than Rockets. He still standard was under this line, even though he shot well. So yeah, I do expect this to be a very difficult matchup for OG. The next part is Mikal Bridges assists. Rockets give fifth least assist in the entire league. They play switch heavy. I see similar, like it's all the same kind of. Like reasoning for every bet. So far, under this in 3 out of the 5 against the Pacers, he got 5 assists and 4 potential assists. So kind of locked out one over. And Miami Heat is a great matchup for assists. So we ignore that. He has 2 against the Boston, 3 against the Cleveland. So Rockets being the difficult matchup for assists is a play here. And the last part, single coverage for Jalen Brunson should be a spot. He struggled this season, but last season against the Rockets, he covered this in both games. He had 25 and 27 field goal attempts. That's a just huge load. And with the way Fred VanVleet is playing, I don't think he can like. I don't think he will do a great job against Brunson tonight.
All right, so there you have it, the fourth official play of the day. Absolutely loaded episode. If you are enjoying, make sure you smash that like button. Let's drive ourselves up in the YouTube algorithm. And also, again, for more picks like this on a daily
Yeah.
basis when it's a weekday, make sure you are subscribed to the channel as well. Support the show. Help the channel continue to grow on the road to 4,000 subs. Next up, Hornets and Timberwolves. Another big spread in this one. Minus 10 for the Timberwolves at home, over under of 226.5. The Hornets have been, I guess, okay this season, but the Timberwolves are 3-3, and that is a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, this spread is a bit high.
Yeah.
But Hornets did play well against the Boston. I mean, they didn't play well. Lamelo Ball did. Just throwing out there. I have a tweet on Lamelo saying like I feel so bad for him. Like he's great player. Like Lamelo is so underrated. I think when they put the list of top 50 NBA players, they put Lamelo at like 40 something, which is insane because they had Halliburton at
Check.
7. And yeah, check this out. Like I don't know. Like I
I'll
think it
check.
was like 37 or 43, something like that.
Well, I mean, the fact that he is that low is actually going to help him because he for awards. Because I last time I checked, he was top of the MIP odds rankings. So was Banchero now injured? Which
Yeah,
list?
it's crazy.
ESPN.
It's crazy good. Yeah, I think it was
Uh,
ESPN and
let's see. Here's I see. I have finding the 100 to 51 on the rankings. I'm not seeing the top 50. Well,
I
let's see
think
if
it's
he's top 50. I can't find it, but we'll take your word
48.
for it.
I think it
48.
was
Okay,
48.
you found it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, there's
insane.
probably
Like,
not 47 players better than him in the NBA.
there's no way. Like the zeros change. Like not even 30. They had Tyrese Halliburton at 7. I think a lot of people had like top 5 Tyrese Halliburton. I'll say straight away, Lamelo Ball is better player than Tyrese Halliburton. Like I don't have any question about it. Like the Lamelo Ball, the team he had around is like terrible, and he doesn't get much credit because he's putting great numbers on terrible team. But the way they can defend him, like they can ignore everyone and just put 2 on Lamelo, and he still finds the way to score. And he's playing really good. He has insane size for a guy. And this season he's shooting 40% from 3 and taking them from half court. Yeah, I think this guy is so underrated and playing with a bunch of idiots, as I said, with like Miles Bridges and Grant Williams. Yeah,
Grant Williams has been tough to watch sometimes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Miles as well. Miles as well. I don't know if you look at this number this season, but it's been real rough.
Let's see. I need to. I'd love to hate watch Miles Bridges. Let's see what his numbers are this season. 13 points per game, 37% shooting. That's ugly. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, the spread. I know this is a tough stat line, but this is a little bit high, is it not? Plus 10. Like this is a bit
It's too
far
much
out.
because Brandon Miller is back, and I love Brandon Miller. Somehow he grew on me because I wasn't huge on him. I'll admit. I mean, I did like him as a player, but I thought
It's good.
Scoot was better. That was our discussion. But Brandon Miller
Yeah.
growed on me as a shooter, as a overall guy, not afraid to go down and pull up the shots. And I think he will be great in the future. So yeah, I think him being back is huge for Hornets. And they have like 6 men of the year on their team. So probably like the actually most improved guy in the season so far, which is Treman. If you didn't look at his numbers, it's insane. Like what he did in the first 6 games
Trey
of the
Man
season.
cooked the
Yeah,
Raptors
Treman.
last week. He was insane. Yeah.
He cooked
19,
like
19,
yeah, he
90
cooked.
points.
Yeah, and they look at the efficiency, absolutely insane. And
Yeah,
he
I'd
cooked.
say. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
He cooked Mike Houston and they won. Like he was scoring like Allen Iverson prime time in the fourth. He cooked Miami to Raptors, and then next game he cooked Boston. They lost the game, but it was a close game, and he made it close. So he cooked on good teams. So it's not like made some garbage points. He cooked good teams.
I'd say he's the real most improved player. If it wasn't for Toronto Raptors shooting guard Grady Dick, who is probably actually the most improved player this season. You think Trey Man's jump's impressive? We'll have a look at Grady Dick's numbers.
Yeah,
Perfect
I
opportunity.
know. I wanted to talk about it. Like his off the ball movement and like just firing it up looks insane. Like just and he is taking much more volume than he should, and the numbers are still great, which
Yeah.
is like great stuff. Like 47% from the field, 37% from the threes, and he's taking dumb shots. sometimes because they need someone to take it because they don't have
No, but they don't have
Adrian Fox.
anybody.
Yeah, so it's actually really good stuff, and he's not even 21. I think he's a couple of days away from his birthday. So yeah,
Well, let's use this as an opportunity to segue. We'll go out of order here and talk about the Raptors and Nuggets game. Raptors plus 10 on the road against the Nuggets. These two, I mean, the Raptors should have beat them last time these two teams played. It ended up going to overtime. The Raptors blew a late lead. I think it was a 10-point late lead. But the spread here is at 10. Things are different when they're playing in Denver compared to Toronto. Raptors have had a pretty loaded schedule recently. But yeah, I mean, there's been a market adjustment here. Grady Dick's over under is 18.5. RJ Barrett's over under is 23.5. Lots of changes here, but what do you think about the spread here or the game in general?
what do you think about your favorite player on the Raptors?
Who's my favorite player? RJ Barrett or David Mitchell?
David Mitchell.
David Mitchell.
10.5
It's
is kind of a bit
he
much.
he just doesn't really score at all.
Yeah, I think one of my friends were on his over last game, and he was sending me like wild messages about David Mitchell offensive game.
I don't know why you'd bet. His game is just like he'll take some threes
It
here
was
and there.
narrative stuff. It was narrative stuff, like going against Kings, like like
Oh,
the
okay.
guys usually go that route. Yeah,
Tell you, it didn't really look like it didn't really look like there was a narrative there. I actually didn't even clue into that narrative because it did not look like at all like he really cared.
yeah.
That
And
he
he
took
doesn't
6
go.
shots, which was his third lowest amount this season, and he played 37 minutes because he played overtime as well and only took 6 shots.
Yeah, he did score like 16 points against the Denver last game, which is season high by far.
Yep.
But when he didn't cover against the Lakers, which is the best matchup for guards, I lean under. I can't say like I lean under on this for them. I won't make an official bet, but I do lean under.
At some point, he will probably. I won't say probably because Raptors coaches are extra dumb, but at some point, Jamal Shed, who is a rookie point guard they drafted 45th overall, is going to take the backup spot because I think he's better than Mitchell. I'm not saying Jamal Shed is a good offensive player either, but oh my God, the turnovers this guy. He had 5 last game. He's at 5, 3, 2, 4, 0, 3, and 5. He is a turnover machine this season. Some of the passes he's throwing out. How many is that per game?
By the way,
3 turnovers a game. Good grief.
yeah. What's the opinion for your guys' first pick of the last season? Second round first pick.
Well, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because he missed the entirety of preseason. So he's talking about Jacoby Walter, 19th overall pick. He missed the entirety of preseason with an injury. He's back in the fray now. He has been very, very poor. He was 1 of 8 against the Lakers in his NBA debut. Against the Kings, he missed.
We are not talking about St. Louis. I'm asking about Jonathan Mobo.
Oh, he was second round pick, number 1 pick of the second round.
Yeah. That's what I said. Like it's a number 1 pick
apologies.
of the second round. Yeah.
Jonathan Mobo is a foul machine, but there's a lot of great tools there. He's a good defender. Like if you watch the Lakers game, Mobo, anytime he was guarding LeBron wanted to switch. He did not really want to go at Mobo. He's like a classic Raptors draft pick, 6'9", stringy, athletic, long, big wingspan. I think he's got like a 7'2" wingspan, maybe even higher. He fouls too much, but there's a lot of good tools there. I got to tell you, the Raptors fan base got to be the happiest 2-5 fan base I've ever seen. Raptors fans are loving this team right now despite the losses, and it's the rookie class which looks very intriguing because of guys like Mobo and Shed.
When we ignore the first game of the season where you got completely killed, you played well in every other game. Against Denver, close game. Hornets, close game. Lakers, close game. Won against the Kings and 76ers. No one expected that. Down Barnes, down quickly. Even with Barnes and quickly, this is a poor team, and without them, it's like probably the worst team in the league. And you guys won against the Kings and played close games, so I'll be also ecstatic. And I watched the entire game against the Kings. I watched some against the Hornets and Denver, and I like Mobo.
He
Everything
was
for
like plus 17 in maybe like 17-ish minutes or so.
yeah,
The only thing he'll be really good if he can when he's in the paint. He has no idea what to do if he has time in the paint. Like he doesn't have a
he'll
go-to
learn.
scoring move. Like if you're like 10 feet out, an NBA guy's just got to have. All right, I'm gonna float. I'm gonna take a jump shot. You got to make from there, but he
Uh,
just doesn't have that yet. But raw prospect
he's
looks really good. Yeah,
Yeah, also offensive rebounds are just he killing on the glass.
yeah.
Let me just take a look at per 36 minutes. He averaged 5 offensive rebounds per 36. Like that's insane. Like so, yeah, I think they have a good player, and he also creates a bit uh, from 4 assists per 36. So yeah,
Yeah, because he used to be a point guard, then had a big growth spurt. So he still has some of the handling and passing that he had previously. I don't know what other show you'll get, which goes in depth on Jonathan Mobo's effect on a 2-5
guys,
team.
if there are
But
any questions about any players, we're willing to talk about it. If you have any bets, put it in the chat. We'll get to it
yes,
later. But we don't like this is not only betting show. We are huge fans of NBA and deep dive on any team. Probably know like every team 11 player, and we could talk about it like for half an hour.
yeah.
So if you have any questions about anything, we love to talk about stuff like this.
I listen. Every guy is out there trying to make themselves a part of the league, and it's interesting to see their skill sets. I love following like second round rookies, seeing their skill set down the line. If they start getting rolled, what have they improved on? What are they bringing to the team? You just got to find something that makes you effective in the league, and I enjoy that. So I know a lot of these lesser
Yeah.
known players, and it's just an interesting part of the league. We'll move on though. Let's talk about the Orlando Magic and Oklahoma City Thunder game. We'll move a little bit faster because we've gone quite a while here. But Oklahoma City minus 12.5 on the spread against a injury depleted Orlando Magic team. Sad on the injury news we talked about previous show with Paolo Banchero, but my God, is this team really good? Like, there's not really a ton of other injuries going on with the Magic. Oklahoma. No Jay Will, no Kendrick Williams, no Isaiah Hartenstein. This team still 12.5 favorites. Is this too far, or is this the right spread for this game?
I don't think it's too far because they are on back to back, and I see this as a blowout. They don't have creation on the team, so they will have a really tough time scoring against the Thunder, except they get stupidly hot from 3-point line, which they still struggle. Like they have KCP and Suggs, and that's it on the shooting end. KCP looked god awful so far this season, so not expecting much there. So yeah, this KCP could be like he has a great career, but Jokic made him look probably a bit better than he actually is, like every other player. So yeah,
Yeah, I was a big fan of the signing, but it just hasn't really clicked as of yet. KCP looked good with the Lakers. He looked good with the
I don't
Nuggets,
know.
but
Yeah, I don't know if you checked his numbers, but please do. Like, it's that awful. Yeah,
let's see. How bad?
really, really bad.
He's averaging 6 points per game, 32% shooting from the field. Wow. 22% on threes. So on twos, he's shooting 67%, but it's just he cannot hit a three right now. Okay.
And
I mean, if he starts to hit
almost
his
everything wide
threes,
open. I was watching, like,
he's wide open
yeah.
too. If he starts to just hit his threes a little bit, things could turn around. But I'll give him benefits early on in the
Also,
season.
like one assist, one rebound per game, which is double half that he had
Half,
with
yeah.
Denver. Yeah,
Yeah.
because playing pick and roll with Jokic, you just need to hit him on the.
that's
That's it.
true.
Yeah.
Tough for him. Tough on the spread. But let's move forward here. We have a few more games to go. Portland plus 2.5 against the Pelicans team, ravaged by injuries. It's always the same story with the Pelicans. They're good when they're healthy, but they never are. Tough game here. Any way to handicap it?
Let me just check a look. Zion is questionable because he played a bunch of minutes last night. This is kind of interesting spot. I will try to work something out because I do like.
But Zion missed yesterday's game, and
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
questionable.
true. Yeah, yeah, true. He's not expected to play tonight. I just said it wrong. Yeah. Just a second.
Kind
I
of
don't
sad.
know.
See, every year the Pelicans have all this opportunity, and they're just
Can
never
you pull the
healthy.
numbers on eight and double double? Is there any good number out there?
Let's
Like
see.
I can see it myself.
Quick look here when it loads. DeAndre Ayton double lines. Over minus 160. FanDuel is the best price. Minus 160.
Yeah, that's a
Bit too far.
bit too far. Let me just take a look at the lines again. Okay, let's do just a second. Jeremy Grant, 15 plus and 8 on 10 plus rebounds.
Okay, here we go. Out of nowhere, Jeremy Grant, 15 plus points. Pairing that with 10 plus rebounds for DeAndre Ayton brings us to minus 105. All right. Is that the fifth official bet of the day?
Yeah, we'll just show some numbers on this one because first off, let's go to the Jeremy Grant. So far this season, kind of weird when you look at his numbers. If we take a look at the 15 plus, covered against the Golden State, shot 6 from 18, then scored 34 and 28 against the same matchup he has today, and that's Pelicans. They allowed Grant to shoot 8 from 17 on threes in one game. Can you imagine Jeremy Grant 8 from 17 in one game? And almost like out of these 17, 15 were wide open, completely wide
Yeah,
open. Like they
that's
messed
funny.
up their defense with Zion there and Ingram and Hawkins. So their main three guys on defense are terrible on defense, and they have Alvarado who will get Simons. That's why I'm betting on Jeremy Grant. I expect him to score like 20 plus easily. He had somehow insane, terrible games against the Kings, then bounced back against the difficult matchup and blowout loss against the OKC with 17 last game against the Suns, 20 points on 8 of 23. So I have like he will have great volume and he'll get to the 15 points even with poor shooting. That's the handicap on Jeremy Grant. And also Hawks last night, Risa Hare, Jalen Williams, Jalen Johnson, every wing had like a feast game against the Pelicans, so I expect this from Jeremy Grant as well. Second part of this bet is rebounds for Aiton. He had 10 plus rebound, 11 plus rebounds in 6 of 7 games this season. I didn't have in a blowout a loss against the Thunder, which is weird, but still. Had 13 rebounds against the Suns, which is one of the most difficult matchups for rebounds, and 15 and 12 against the Pelicans. Pelicans don't have a big, and Aiton should grab a rebounds easily. They're playing, I think, Missy at the 5 starting so far right now, or
Yeah.
Tice. Tice is probably out, I think. Yeah, Tice is
Well,
playing out of the bench. Missy
Missy
is
should be
starting.
starting.
Yeah, that's an easy matchup for rebounds for Aiton. He should grab a ton. He can actually ignore Missy on defense and be camping inside. So this should be a like easy spot for him to grab rebounds. I really like this combination for our fifth official bet.
Yeah, absolutely loaded show. Please make sure you've hit the like button if you've not done so already. 5 bets. I don't know what the record is in the third. This is our third season. I don't know.
I think
There's
we
probably
had
been a
5
day
bets
with
once
5.
or twice.
Yeah,
Once
this
or
is a
twice.
rare one though. Let's move on. Quick
A
word.
rare,
If we, go
yeah,
ahead.
a rare 15 game slate as well.
Yes, that is true. So
Yeah.
you got to do it. 4.5 spread for the Mavericks at home against the Pacers. Pacers, I guess, somewhat finding their footing, but they haven't maybe looked as good as anticipated. They're 2-4. Dallas have
It's
looked
it's only down to one guy. Like everyone else is playing kind of normal. One guy is
Halliburton
really
poor. Yes.
underperforming. Yeah, and that's the when your main guy is terrible, then everything doesn't work.
But nonetheless, the Mavericks at home, who have looked pretty good this season, 4.5 against the Pacers is I'm just trying to confirm the injuries on this, but
Healthy.
this is like a good spot to bet the Mavericks, does it not?
Yeah, I do lean, but second night of back to back as well. We know I spoke a lot about Luka second night of back to back. I think he will be like an
Yes,
easy play
that's
for
true.
me. I think it will be an easy play for me if Luka wasn't on a second night of back to bet his overs. Insane spot against the Pacers. He should thrive, but it's him struggling in back to backs and not in greatest shape so far. I'll stay away, and I don't like this game at all. I don't see like they could double him. They couldn't. They could let him one on one. It's a huge gamble. I'm not taking the gamble on 15 games late.
All right. Next game, Suns, Sixers. Suns favored by seven, excuse me, at home. The Sixers, oh my goodness. The Bucks been really bad. So have the Sixers. They're 1-4. Joel Embiid allegedly may or may not have physically assaulted a reporter in the dressing room after a game. Now, the allegations against the reporter would suggest that maybe some of it is warranted. But nonetheless, this is a team in absolute turmoil. What is going on with Philly?
I mean, missing Paul George and Embiid and not being deep team is terrible. And they played. I mean, I didn't even play good teams. Like they played Bucks, Raptors, Pacers, Pistons, and then finally Memphis. So they played only like
They beat the
one
Pacers.
and a half decent team. So yeah, uh, we don't know anything about this team until Embiid and Paul George are healthy.
Okay.
So Paul George is
So they're
back tonight. Paul
Oh, he
George is
is.
back tonight. Yeah, on
Okay.
minutes restriction. He's lying in 70 and a half. Knowing Nurse, minutes restriction could probably be 30 plus, which makes this line insanely low. I won't take the bet because no guessing game here, but I do lean over and think this is a perfect matchup. Same thing for Maxi, perfect matchup. So we'll see. No guesses here, but Paul George being back makes this. If he gets 30 minutes, this line is probably a bit too big for Suns, especially how they played so far. Nick Nurse can do well against Mike, so we'll see.
All right. Final game. Would love to talk about, but let's go to the last game here. Clippers and Spurs. Clippers favored by 4 at home for this one. I don't think the Spurs have been anything sensational, but they are 3-3, which is
Yeah.
a decent pace for them to start the season. The Clippers are 2-4. We obviously know about the injury troubles that this team is facing. So, what's your thoughts for this spread in this game?
Clippers were very competitive, even though they missed so much.
Mhm.
They won against Denver and Golden State. Lost in overtime against the Suns. Lost really close game against the Suns, and terrible loss against Portland. That shouldn't never happened. I don't know what was going on in that game. And of expected loss against the Thunder. So I think Clippers so far playing above expectations. I did have a high expectation. Harden, he's playing really well. His efficiency numbers don't show that up, but he's creating so much for these terrible players around him. So yeah, I think this could be a competitive game, and the Spurs look absolutely great in Wemby minutes and absolutely abyssal in the minutes when he sits. The on-off numbers are unbelievable, unbelievable. Like their defense goes like from the best in the league, second best in the league, to the worst in the league when he sits. So I think there is a bench issues, but starters will hang out with Clippers, and Clippers don't have bench as well. So I do see why this is a 4 spread
Right.
for this game. Also, the best thing for Clippers is pick and roll with Zubac, Harden, and Wemby is involved, and you don't want to be you don't want to have Wemby involved in your most efficient offense.
All right.
So
But I guess the spread on 4 makes sense to Pips. That wraps it up for the full 15-game slate. What a show. We're already an hour in, but let's do at least a few of the comments here from the chat. before we end off things today. Fries commented before the show even started, Klay Thompson over 15.5 points against the Pacers. What do you think about Klay here?
Think this is the same reasoning I gave last time. Someone asked about Clay. It was against the. We can pull out numbers. Like he played three defenses that mostly switch, and he hit three unders. Orlando, Rockets, and Wolves. Three defenses that give a lot of shots. Then drop coverage. Suns, Spurs, and Jazz. He hit three overs. Tonight he is facing a switching team that doesn't give a spot up, so this should be a no bet for me. Like I'm just defensive scheme guy, and this is not a defensive scheme favorable for Klay Thompson. Unless they double Luka Doncic, which is if you look at the first possession of the game and see doubles on Luka, then bet Klay Thompson live. Yeah, it's simple as that.
Next one pulling up here is Yves Missy, over 1.5 blocks at plus 100 in the matchup here where he's getting more minutes against the Portland Trailblazers. Blocks are hard to handicap. The number here is actually decent. It's actually maybe if you get plus 105, even better. But what do you feel about this play?
Yeah, he's great on defense. He hit this in this season, but yeah, I'm not betting blocks. He does look great. The matchups where he didn't hit were Hawks and Pacers, which don't do much damage on the not much pressure on the rim. Against Blazers, Bulls, and Golden State Warriors, they do kind of put more pressure on the rim. So tonight matchup against the Portland, two games, two times hit over. So I lean over, but I don't bet blocks. So you need to get a good number, plus 100, 100 or better. So yeah, if you're getting that, you can bet it, but not my type of bet. Can't give you much of an opinion on blocks. Nothing to break down there.
Another one on Yves Missy. Showtime asked about his Rookie of the Year candidacy. We actually did talk about this last week on the show, this exact bet. We just felt like there's a lot of vig in this market at this point. It's kind of hard to find great spots overall right now. 2,500 though. It just... I'm not sure if this is going to be the same team for the whole year, but Yves Missy should get playtime. I don't mind the look on Yves Missy for Rookie of the Year. How about you, Pips?
I mean, looking at defense and rebounding kind of looks okay, but he is scoring and just not there. And maybe he gets better during the season, but I don't think a guy is winning Rookie of the Year with like 6 points a game average. So that's the problem with this.
Yeah, they'll have to really start catering to him. He's just a rim running big, so you have to really cater to him at getting him the ball right at the rim. If he's not right at the rim, pretty much open, he's probably not going to score. So when you look at the narrative surrounding this vote, it also leads to a bit of difficulty in him winning over, even for centers. Can he surpass Zach Edey? But
yeah.
It's as much as it is a bad rookie class, but if I'm going to take a punt, I'd need that to be a little bit higher on Yves Missy. Missy
personally. And I think Edey probably proved more on offense than Missy will throughout the season. And they are missing like DeJounte. When he gets back, he'll take even a bit more rebounds, and it will be rough numbers wise. I love the spot overall for Missy, but.
Yeah, I just need that price to be a little bit higher. Quick interruption here because we got a super chat from Fries. Always see this name in the chat and always asking some good questions. Sends in a super chat saying, thanks for the awesome show, NBA discussions, and helping me be a better captor. Well, thank you so much for supporting us, and thank you so much for the super chat. Very grateful to have you in on the show all the time. So really nice to have the extra bit coming through there. So thank you for that. Frankie Rodriguez asked, Kamara, 1 3-pointer made. Gobert, 12 rebounds, and Powell, 15 plus points. Gets that at plus 208. Do you like that one? This is multi-game, but do your best on this one.
Yeah, I like Tumani. I like Powell. I don't like Gobert only because He has questionable with ankle injury and got benched in the last game because of it. So he could be on a minutes restriction. He has a terrific matchup. If he wasn't questionable, that will be like sixth official bet for me tonight. But just be cautious with ankle injury, 27 minutes against the Spurs, against Wemby when they needed him. So there are some issues there. So I will monitor that one.
Last bet here. Maxi under 27.5.
Nope.
Asked for Michael. I know I was going to say, you said earlier you love Maxi's matchup today, so I think that's a no.
Nope.
Sorry, Michael. Quick no for this one.
Sorry, yeah. Great pick and roll ball handlers, great pull up guys. Over against Suns entire season. Over or skip, no unders.
And I'd love to talk a bit more about Ryan Dunn. The show has gone a bit long. I actually do have to get to the Hammer head office shortly, so I can't. You can't start me on Ryan Dunn. Before the draft, I was so amped about this guy. I thought there was a chance he'd fall to 31st in the draft, so the Raptors could take him. Obviously, we talk about Mobo, who's looking pretty good, but the Knicks had to have been sick to their stomach that he did not go 24, 25, and the Suns got him earlier because Ryan Dunn is fantastic, the best defender in the class, and he's shooting really well this season, which I was not expecting. I know you love Ryan Dunn as well.
Yeah, I tweeted about like first game of the preseason, and I was like tweeting about it and making like this guy is insane on defense, and somehow turned his 3-point shot from like not making a. There was a tape where he airballed like 15 free throws in the college in like terrible stuff. Like he couldn't make even a free throw, like 50% free throw shooter, and somehow he's shooting 40% from the three. I don't think that's sustainable, but yeah, he improved so much and huge NBA career in front of him.
Yeah, agree. I'm sure we'll talk more about him through the year. Final thing, because this actually just came up here, but according to Shams, Greg Popovich has suffered a health issue, and he will be out indefinitely. It'll be Mitch Johnson expected as the interim coach. So prayers up for Greg Popovich. Absolutely. We hope everything is all right over there. And it's a shame how things have gone down, transpired here. A rough note to end the show on, but this is definitely something I wanted to bring up. All prayers go out to Greg Popovich and his family and the entire Spurs organization there.
Yeah, this is rough. Yeah.
Always sad to see. So we'll see how that continues, but we'll go back to what we had on the show today. It's been a fantastic show. Thank you so much, everybody, for the support. We'll go through the recap just now. Before I show you the recap, smash that like button. We have 5 official picks in the show today, perhaps an equal to a career high on the show for picks. Let's hope it is a profitable day as well. Quick word, by the way, because it is 5 picks. I know the unit size are different. Your bankroll, everybody's different. Do not fear big slates like this. You want to decrease your variance in betting, especially if you're finding plus EV positions, which the expectation for the show is that these are plus EV positions. You decrease variance by upgrading your sample size. So have no fear in the big slates here. Here is the slate that we have for today. Early on, Milwaukee and Cleveland. This bet came out over an hour ago, I think. But Donovan Mitchell, 25 plus points, under 5.5 assists, 2 plus 3-pointers made. With Darius Garland, 6 plus assists. We got that for plus 309 at FanDuel. In the Lakers and Pistons game, Jaden Ivey over 16.5 points. It wasn't available at FanDuel, but there were some 16.5s out there at minus 120, minus 125. Either price is good to take over there. Grizzlies money line is the next play paired with John Morant, 8 plus assists, minus 108 at FanDuel. Knicks at Rockets. We have OG Anunoby under 13.5 points, Mikal Bridges under 3.5 assists, and Jalen Brunson 25 plus points. That's plus 346 at FanDuel. I should say, because I don't think I've said this enough this season, we track the SGPs the big SGPs at half units. You're free to bet however much you'd like, but half unit would be the recommendation from us over here. And the final bet of the 5 in the Portland Trailblazers game and the New Orleans Pelicans game. Jeremy Grant, 15 plus points. DeAndre Ayton, 10 plus rebounds. We got that for minus 105 at FanDuel. The only way you can guarantee you're getting the best price, the price that we give the plays out at, is if you watch the shows live. So thank you so much for tuning in today. I know everybody's got different schedules. You do your best to catch the show. We really appreciate all support, however it comes. We try to cater it to everybody. We'll put it up on screen. I'll have the official pick banner. If it's not available at FanDuel, I'll put it in the chat. And then at the end of the show, we do the official pick recap. So however you catch the show, we appreciate it. Thank you for all the support. I've got to get out of here, but we'll hopefully see you again tomorrow. And we'll hopefully be talking about an historic day on the show with the 5-pick slate. Thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you again next time.